Good morning. It is Monday, December 7th, and it's time for math. So today we'll be working on lesson 5-4. This is the last lesson in this unit. We'll be starting a new unit tomorrow. You'll remember that this unit taught us about classifying items and categorizing items. To classify and category were two words that we looked at in our math glossary. So to classify was to think about how we would sort objects. So we had to figure out what attribute we were going to use to classify objects. Once we decided that, we then could put them into a category. We could separate them out by how we decided to classify them. So today we're going to be looking at that and thinking a little bit about reasoning. So we'll be thinking about which group might be greater than or less than. All right, here is our friend Carlos. He's with us today. And what Carlos is saying, he's got some Unifix cubes here. You'll notice that some of the Unifix cubes are blue, some are yellow, and some are green, and they're broken apart. And he says that the number of blue cubes is equal to the number of cubes that are not blue. So we've got blue Unifix cubes and not blue Unifix cubes. So the first thing we're going to do is, before we decide whether Carlos' answer is correct, whether they're equal or not, we're going to count the blue and see how many we have of the blue. So we're going to start at the top and remember X amount and go across your rows. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so I'm going to write the number 10 right here and draw a cube. I'm just going to draw a square. I'm not going to. So there's a cube. So we have 10 blue cubes. All right, let's go back and count the ones that are not blue. So we're going to start across the top. We'll start with this yellow one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I counted 9 cubes. We're going to put an X over that are not blue. 10 that are blue, 9 that are not. And then I'm going to write 2 words out of here, out to the side. First word I'm going to write is YES, which is yes. And then I'm going to write the word NO. You know this from when we were doing calendar in November. You remember the little word in November? No. So our answers are either yes or no. So Carlos says that the number of blue cubes is equal to the number that are not blue. So is 10 equal to 9? Nope. So we're going to circle no. We're going to circle no. So what you can do is just write 10 and 9 on your blank paper there, just to indicate that we had 10 blue cubes and 9 that were not blue. But no, they're not equal. So what he said was not true. All right, let's flip over. And he's got an example on the top of our page. He's looking at cars and not cars. And so here he is, he's thinking about it. He's like, which is correct? Not sure. So he's got a grouping of automobiles up here. It's very hard to see them. And so we're going to go count and see how many are cars. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. And you'll see that they've written 6 up here to show there are 6 cars. Let's go back and count and see how many are not cars. What does that mean, not cars? Well, some of them might be trucks, or looks like there are various types of trucks. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 that are not cars. All right, so we're looking at it. So Tucker showed his answer, and then Olivia showed hers. She circled the one that was less, right? And he showed the one that was greater. Both of those answers are correct. All right, we're going to come down here to number 1. And these are word problems, so I'm going to read them, and then we're going to work through them. So the first one says, Gabby says that the category of airplanes is greater in number than the category that is not airplanes. So our two categories are airplanes, not airplanes. And we have to see if her answer makes sense. So she's saying that there are more airplanes than not airplanes. So we're going to count the airplanes first. So we're going to put an X on them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you see they've already written 5 for us. All right, let's go back and count the ones that are not airplanes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 5 that are airplanes and 6 that are not airplanes. So then here's our yes or no over there. And the question is, does her answer make sense? She's saying that this category with the airplanes is greater than the category that are not airplanes. So our question is 5 greater than 6? No, we know that. 5 is not greater than 6. It comes before 6 on the number line. So we're going to come over here and circle no, because Gabby's answer is not correct. All right, so now we're going to go to the next page. What we'll see up here is this long train across the top. Some of our train cars are red and some are yellow. We've decided to classify by yellow train cars. So that means the ones that don't fit in that category are not yellow train cars. All right, before we do anything, let's count and see how many yellow train cars there are. So we're going to start working left to right across our train. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 yellow train cars. So I'm going to write that up here just to remind my brain. 6 yellow. Then I'm going to come back and count the ones that are not yellow. So let's start with the first one. The first one, is that yellow? No. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we have 8. And I'm going to put an X out beside that 8 so that we remember those are not yellow. All right, let's go to number 1 and see what it says. Number 2, and see what we're asking. Here's our yes and no. We have to decide which one to circle. It says, Damon says that he counted 8 yellow train cars and 6 train cars that are not yellow. Does his answer make sense? All right, he said there were 8 yellow train cars, but we know, because we wrote it up here, that there were actually 6. So is his answer right? No. So we're going to come over here and circle no. All right, now we're coming down to this row in number 3. Let's see what it says for number 3. Melinda says that the category of yellow train cars is less than the category of train cars that are not yellow. Does hers make sense? So she has 6 yellow train cars, that's what we got, and she has 8 that are not yellow. So she counted them correctly, right? We have 6 yellow and 8 that are not. But she's saying that the category of yellow train cars is less than the not. Is 6 less than 8? Yes, 6 is less than 8. So we're going to circle yes. Her answer does make sense. All right, now we're moving to number 4. Aaron says that the category of red train cars is greater than the category of train cars that are not red. Does his answer make sense? All right, we got to think about that. So he has switched colors on us. He's now saying that he's using the category of red. Well, we know that all the ones that were not yellow were red. So there were 8 red. We know that. There were 6 that were not. So he counted them correctly. All right, he's saying that the category of red train cars is greater than the ones that are not red. So he's saying 8 is greater than 6. Is that right? Yeah. 8 is greater than 6. So we're going to circle yes. All right, we're going to flip over. This is our last page. And we're going to think about it. Looks like we're going to be using with some balls. All right. How many orange balls would there be if there were one fewer orange balls? So let's just do that one problem. So let's count and see how many orange balls we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can mark them as you count them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to write the number 7 here. Okay? And what they're asking us to think about is how many would there be if there were one fewer? So this is how we're going to figure this out. We're going to take one. Would you just choose any orange ball, and I want you just to color it out. Make it disappear. Colored mine black. Now, I'm only going to count the ones that have X's on it. That one's colored out, so I'm only going to count the orange balls that have X's out. So we had 7. We removed 1. So let's see how many we have now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we had 7 balls and we wanted to know what one fewer was, we now have 6. So I want you to think about that. You can work this problem with a number line as well. Remember, if you want one less, you go back and rest on the number line. All right, that is all we're doing with that higher thinking problem today. So you have finished math for today, and I will see you tomorrow for math.